Subashi. I'm the marketing manager at Data Engine. Today's webinar is on Microsoft Power BI, getting started with Power BI, and this will be hosted by Indra, who's going to be essentially talking you through everything about Power BI and introduction to it. Indra's a seasoned data architect as well as a 5-time Microsoft Data Platform MVP. She's got about 20 years of experience in data management, business intelligence, data warehousing, data lakes, data visualization, analytics. She's also really skilled in training users in Power BI and Microsoft Power Platform and Azure AI as well. So I'll pass over to Indra now and let her take over the rest of this session.
Thanks, Subashi.
Indra.
Okay, let's move on. So today's agenda is, I think we have a lot on plate. We will see how much we can cover. So introduction is done, and prerequisites. I just want to remind everyone, all those who want to follow along, I'll be going a bit slow for everyone to follow. Make sure you have downloaded the Power BI desktop with the instructions that were sent to you in an email, and also download the AdventureWorks sales Excel file so that we can get that data into Power BI. And we are going to cover some basic DAX functions, which is maybe sum and count or something like that due to lack of time. And also we will go through what card visuals old and new are, and we'll create some maybe a couple of bar charts and clustered column charts and trend graphs. And also I'll show you how you can interact with create interactive reports. And how to use slicers and filters in your reports, and also how to edit interactions between your visualizations if we have time. So just want hands up on whoever has not downloaded Power BI Desktop or AdventureWorks Sales, so that I can give you a couple of more minutes for you to okay, so who is that? Tara. Okay, so you don't have a requirements, right? Okay, so
and I do have Power BI, but I don't have the data.
The file. Okay, I'll just maybe post it here in the chat so that you can download it.
Thank you.
Maybe I'll just give you a link so that you can download from there. This is the link.
Got it. Thank you, Indira.
No worries. Okay, yeah, I have sent you the link. Okay, for Mac, what you can do is you can work in the service if you have a work account. So what you do is okay, what you do is whoever is okay, MW, whoever, I don't know what the name, how to pronounce your name. If you are using MacBook, what you can do is maybe you can, if you can log into bi.com with app.powerbi.com with a work email. Personal email does not work, but if you can log in with a work email, and if your work provides access, then you can do the same thing that we are doing with Power BI Desktop. Just if you can let me know whether you can access Power BI using app.powerbi.com. Okay, while he or she is doing that, so looks like apart from a couple of people, I think everyone has the prerequisites ready. So let's get into it. So first thing is, can anyone tell what Power BI Desktop is or Power BI is? I have just assumed that you all know what Power BI is and um, prepare the slides accordingly. But if anyone needs more explanation, please let me know. Power BI is a data analytics tool, and it has two components. One is at the cloud layer, and the other one is at the Power BI desktop. It's a client, so which you can download and then create the reports using Power BI desktop. And then once you are ready to publish and share, you can upload them to the Power BI service, which can be accessed from app.powerbi.com. So that's in brief what Power BI is. Any questions? Anyone wants to know more about it? Yes, Shilpa. So anyone wants to know more about it? You can raise your hand. Otherwise, we will continue with importing data. So I think I'm going to stop sharing the Power BI, the PowerPoint, and then let's get into it using Power BI desktop. So just going to share my screen. Okay, everyone has opened Power BI desktop. If you haven't opened, it is like any other program. Just search for Power BI desktop, and then you can go and click on the Power BI desktop. And what you get is you might get a startup screen. So see this get started screen. You will be seeing this one if you are opening Power BI desktop just now. So you can just feel free to close this one because I'm just going to make sure that you use all the buttons on the ribbons. So now it will just not be me going through this one. I'm going to ask you questions so that it can be more interactive. So what we need to do is first step. What is the first step that we need to do to create a report in Power BI?
Import the data first.
Yeah, okay. So import the data. How do we import the data?
Get data.
Get data. Where is get data?
So the on the small icon.
Yeah. So this one, right?
Just yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you can use get data here, but what is our source file? Which format is it in?
A Google Sheet.
It's Excel, right?
Yes.
So because you downloaded in Excel, you can either directly click here in the on Excel workbook, or you can go into get data and you can click on Excel workbook here. Before I click on that, I'll just go through the different sources that you can click on. So if you have Power BI data sets, that can be your source. Your sources can be data flows, Dataverse, which is again a Microsoft database, SQL Server, or analysis services, text files or CSV files. Web, you can import directly from web, just a web URL. Or data feed, blank query, you can just go blank query and then just copy paste. That also is there. And if you click on more, you will understand. You can see all the data connectors here for the source files. And here they are broken down into categories. So file, if file categories are, you can see Excel files, text files, XML files, JSON, and also you can do import from a folder as well. And then PDF, Parquet files, which is the industry standard format now, and then SharePoint folder as well. And then there are various databases. And then now with the new Microsoft Fabric, you can get data from Microsoft Fabric as well. And Power Platform, which includes the Power BI data flows, common data service, and then which is CDS, and that's legacy. Now it's Dataverse is in place. So Dataverse and data flows, and also from Azure, from the storage account, all these different Azure services, and some online services which are other platforms as well, say Google Analytics, Salesforce reports, and all those things. And there are others like Microsoft Exchange. There are a lot of more than, I think, 250 connectors are there. So now let's go and click on Excel workbook and then say connect. Now, once that is done, you have to browse the AdventureWorks sales wherever it is. I think it must be sitting in your downloads folder. So do that and then choose that and then click open. If anyone is having difficulty, you let me know. I'll wait for you to.
Excuse me, Indira.
Yeah.
Can you put that Google Sheet link in the chat?
I have put already. Okay, I'll share it again. I think
it's there. It's in the chat. You just have to scroll up a bit.
yeah, I pasted it again, so you can download that.
I don't know. I'm not able to see that.
Are you not able to see the chat?
Yeah, I can see the chat, but not the conversation or the link, anything. Even the previous one also, I couldn't see it.
Oh, maybe you. Let me just check.
The link is also in the meetup event if you did sign up here through meetup.
Okay, let me email you the link. Let's do this. Okay, so just do whatever I have done. So if you go to your Google Chrome or a browser, AdventureWorks Sales Excel, if you type that, the first one in the GitHub, if you can download that. Are you able to see that?
Yeah, I can see that. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So if you can import that. Okay, once you click on open, so can you all see these tables? What are these? Can anyone tell me?
Sheets. Those are the tables.
Yeah, so
Table.
these are
That
different sheets in the workbook called AdventureWorks Sales. So let's let's not import everything. We'll just import maybe sales table, product table, date table, and customer table. I think we'll just include that. And then now click on transform data. Don't load the data, because usually a good practice is to load the data. And just browse through and see if any of the columns you don't need. So as you have seen, this particular Power BI desktop, when you say transform, it has opened a new window. And what is this window called?
Power Query Editor.
Yes, Power Query Editor. And the other one is Power BI desktop. So Power Query Editor is very powerful to do your transformations. And just quickly take you through what kind of transformations you can do. So you can import data from here as well. And the same data connectors will be available. And also you can choose columns and then go to that column, or you can remove columns by highlighting them. Say, for example, if you highlight these ones, right click and remove other columns, or remove these columns, or even if you want to remove duplicates, you can remove that, remove errors. All these can be done. I'm just covering high level today. And also if you want to, similar things can be done with keep rows and remove rows as well. And also if you, for example, if you want to split a column, you can do that. If you have address, usually split column is used for complicated address columns where they are, and they are separated by commas. So you can split the column, but you can split that column by using split column. And then you can split by delimiter, by number of characters, by positions. All these can be done. And also you can group by, you can change the data type, which we will see for sure. And you can merge queries. So for example, if you have 2 or 3 tables with similar columns, then what you can do is you can append the rows so that you can combine the 2 tables into one, or merge queries. If you have a common or a common field that you can merge on with 2 different tables, that also you can do. So merge queries and append queries. The difference is append means you are appending rows. Merge means you are adding more columns to a table. Any questions there? If you have any questions, please unmute and let me know. Just checking the chat. Okay, sheets. Okay, so now I have checked the customer. I'm just checking the date. If you see here, there is something called customer key. That will be the main key for us to use when we are creating relationships. And if you check the AdventureWorks sales spreadsheet, for every table there is a key, so you can use that. And then in the product there is a product key table, and this is a sales order line key. And yeah, I think so for some reason it came twice, so that's why it is named as sales 2. I'm just going to right click on the sales and then disable the load. So I'm just going to click. Now you can see the tick on the enable load. So I'm just going to disable, because I don't want the sales tables to be twice. Did everyone get this, or is it me only? I'm getting the sales table as twice. Did anyone else get it? You only got one?
I did.
we just
I
got
think
one.
you already have
Oh.
table one.
Then it's okay. I think I must have done something in earlier. So that's why there is another sales table. So I just disabled that load. And now what we should do is, okay, I'm happy with my tables. So the next thing is, once if you are happy with the tables and if you go to the Power BI desktop, you can't see the tables here, except that I think I have imported sales earlier, probably. That's why I can see, yeah, I can see that sales table. So in order for us to see the tables here, what you need to do is you need to go into Power Query Editor. If you are happy with the transformations, there is a button on the home ribbon where you can see close and apply. You can hit close and apply, or apply. If you just click on apply, then it will apply, but it won't close this editor. I want this editor also to be closed. So I'm just going to do a close and apply. So it will take maybe a minute for us for the data to load. For me, it loaded because I think my sales was loaded earlier. So that's why it is showing like that. For you, it might take one more minute. Now you are in the desktop, right? So I'll just, before we start working on this desktop, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take you through the interface. Here you have the ribbons like other Microsoft products like Word and Excel. You have the menu, home, insert, modeling, view, and optimize. And you have these three buttons here. So the first one is the report view. If you hover over it, you can see the report view. And the second one is table view, where you can see all the tables. So if you can see all the tables, the customer is the default that it has highlighted because of the alphabetical order. It highlights the first one. And if you click on the data part of it, you can see the other tables. Now the third view is the model view, and this is where we can create the model. This has automatically created the model based on the how did it create the model? Can anyone tell me? It has created the model based on what? Can anyone tell me?
The keys, main keys.
Yeah,
primary
keys. But
keys.
how does it know that the keys, those are the keys? So for example, if we go here, you can double click on the line and then you can see that it is linked to product key and product key. Sales table is linked to product table using product key. The main thing that how it recognized is because of the same name.
Same name. Yep.
Okay. So now, so that's what that's the technique it has used for customer and product. But why didn't it create any key for date? Can anyone guess? For date table, why didn't it create any relationship?
Because date table doesn't have any product key.
It doesn't need product key. It needs a date key and the sales, because it needs to relate to the sales table, right? Because sales table is the, what is it in the star schema? Is everyone familiar with the star schema? Otherwise, I'll just maybe use a couple of minutes to explain what star schema is. Anyone not familiar with it? Yes, no? Not familiar. Okay, so I'll go back to basics. This is data modeling 101. So for us to create a report, we need to follow some guidelines of some modeling, of data modeling. Usually in Power BI, we do follow something called star schema or snowflake schema. Star schema is, before I introduced you to star schema, I want you to know about two important terms. One is the facts and one is the dimensions. Facts means it is a it's a measure. So measure in the sense whatever we can measure. So for example, sales, sum of sales, that is a measurable thing, right? Or count of rows, that's a measurable thing. Sum of sales amount is a measurable thing. What is the profit? That also is measurable. So which is quantifiable? Quantifiable in the sense which can be measured in numbers. In simple terms, whatever is in numbers can be measurable, right? So that is what is called a measure or a fact. Okay. Now this is how I explain, kids. So whatever is available is whatever is a number can be measured, but can we measure year? Yes or no?
No.
Can we do a sum of year or count of year? Maybe you can, but sum of year?
No.
No, right? So that's why year is not a measure. It's not a measure or a fact. So the other word for which is not a measure can be called as a dimension. So how do we recognize what is dimension and what is measure? Measure, one thing that you need to make sure is it has to be in a number, because it's a quantity, it's a quantifiable. Now, so for example, if we want to know sum of sales by customer, which customer has done how much sales? So now here, the dimension is the customer. So when you look at the analysis questions, what are the sales by customer? So when you have the keyword by, and after whatever word comes after by is the dimension. So by customer, so customer is a dimension. What are the sum of sales by product? The product is the dimension. So here we have how many dimensions as per the diagram that you can see here. How many dimensions are there? How many fact tables are there? And how many dimensions are there?
There are 3-dimensional table and 1 fact.
One fact. What is the fact?
It is a date.
Fact is date is fact.
Oh no,
Sales.
Sales is the fact.
sales is the fact. Yeah,
Yeah.
sales is the fact.
And the other three are dimensions. Okay.
Dimension.
Yeah. So when you have fact in the middle, and when you do a relationship between date table and sales table, how does this look? The structure. Anyone can answer.
Can you repeat your question, please?
Okay, so you have the fact here, sales, and then
Yeah.
you have 3 links to the 3 dimensions. And if you have two more dimension tables, you can link like that. So if you have, let's say, 5 or 6 dimensions and it is linking like that, how does this look?
It will look like a star.
Sales by customer.
Yes, it looks like a star. So that means that is what it means by star schema. So star schema is one fact table in the center, and all the dimensions will be linked to the fact table using a 1. You can see a 1 here, right? 1 to many. You can see a star there, right? So using the 1 to many relationship, they will be linked. So if you click on this link, you can see sales is related to customer, many to 1, because many to 1 is because it is coming from sales, right? Sales, you can have many. What it means is one customer has made many sales, right? So here,
Okay.
one product was sold a lot of times from here. Okay.
So can
Understood?
we, Indra, compare this schema, star schema to a Venn diagram in just easier terms?
Venn diagram, you don't have these 1 to many relationships. It's just intersection of points, right? But here in the customer table, you can't have. So for example, you and I are customers. Indira and Shilpa can exist only in only once in customer table. But in sales table, Indira and Shilpa can it will exist by ID. So you and I can exist 100 times based on the number of sales that we do. So it's not a concept of Venn diagram, because Venn diagram is just intersection part of it, right? But this one is like a star schema. So one-to-many relationship. Got it?
Yeah,
Hi, I have a
thank
quick
you.
question. Is it necessarily a one-to-many, or can it be one-to-one and many-to-many?
Some complex relationships can be one-to-one as well. But today we are just going to do one-to-many. And now let's create a relationship between date and sales table. So I'm just going to look at the table and find out what it can relate to. So here, if you can see the dates, there is a due date key. There is an order date key. And also there is I think I saw a ship date key. Okay. So there are 3 keys. So if you want to know the relation between the sales by orders, by orders, then you link it to order date key. If you want the relationship by ship date, then you link it to ship date key. And how many orders are due sort of thing, then you create a link to due date key. So for now, this date key, I am linking it to order date key. So I'm just dragging and dropping on the order date key. So can you all do that? And then it will create a one-to-many relationship.
Sorry, I missed that. What do we drag on the order date key? Where do we drag it?
So here, from the date table, there is a
I see.
date key, right? Can you spot the date key just under the date column? So with that, you drag it to the sales table order date key. If you are having difficulties in dragging, you can also create using manage relationships. So there is
Sorry to interrupt you, Indra. I don't know what I did wrong. I'm not seeing in that view, my tables are not linked, and it's coming as a column 1, column 2s, not as
okay. Okay, I know what your issue is. If you go into the Power Query editor again, so everyone pay attention. How do you go to Power Query editor again?
transform data, right?
Transform data. So go to, there is a transform data, because remember we clicked on transform when we imported the data first. So click on transform data and transform data. And I think you in your tables, in each of your tables, promote headers is not there. So just click on the first button and then use first row as headers on each of the tables. And then close and apply.
All right. Okay, I got it. Thank you.
And then I think it will automatically link when you close and apply.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. Any other issues you are facing? Anyone is facing? Okay, so is everyone with me? So did everyone create date key relationship from date key to ship date key? Order date key. If you are not able to, then you can go into manage relationship and click on new and then choose the sales. You can choose the sales table here and then click on order date key and then choose the date table here and then the date key here. I'm not, and this has already detected that there is already a relationship, so I'm not going to save it. I'm just going to close it, cancel it. So is everyone on par with me? Any further questions? Okay. Okay, let me proceed. Now we have created the relationship. Now it's looking like a star schema. just want to cover one more thing. What I mentioned a snowflake schema as well. Snowflake is, you know how snowflake looks, right? Usually snowflake is not preferred in modeling, but I'll just mention what snowflake can be. We can't do a snowflake with the tables that we have here. But if the product, for example, if the product has a product category table, separate product category table, and then if we link product to the new product category table, that means it will not be a perfect star schema. It will be like a snowflake. So that is what is called a snowflake. Any questions? Okay, now what we will do is we will learn what the difference is between a column and a measure. Okay. So let's go to sales and sales table, and let's go to table view. Table view and sales table. So you have the unit price, you have the extended amount, you have the order quantity, and you have everything related to, yeah, you have the total product cost, you have the total product standard cost and sales amount. If you want to add a sum of sales amount, what there, if you want to add, I want to let you know the difference between a new column and a new measure. Because you can see, if you click on the sales, you can see in the table tools, you can see a new measure and a new column. If you create a new column, let's say I'm creating a new column, and then I am calling it, it's creating a calculated column. I'm just calling it as just a count. And then I'm giving each row a value of 1. Okay, so that's the column that I'm creating. I just want to know the number of rows. So if I create a count equals 1 column, count means I'm giving you whatever name that is there on the left hand side of the equals is the name of the column. So here you can see that there is a column that is appearing, and I'm just giving a equals 1. So what it will do is it will create a new column by the name of count, and the value that is shown in the column will be 1. So I'm just going to click on OK, and so you can see that we have created a count column, which is depicting that each row is the value is 1. Okay, so that is what is called a count, what is called a column, which you can see in the table that you have created. Now I want to create a measure. Okay, so I'll go back to table tools, and I'm just going to create a measure, new measure. And in the measure is where you use something called DAX. What is DAX? Anyone can tell?
Data analytics expression.
Yeah, data analytics expression. It's a language that we use in Power BI desktop, not in Power BI Power Query editor, but in Power BI desktop. Power Query editor, what is the language that we use?
M language.
M language. Okay, yeah, that's good. Okay, so DAX is DAX, and DAX is similar to your Excel functions. Whoever has used Excel functions in Excel, like for example, sum of a column, or row, count of a row, or count if, or the if function, or year function, or a month function. So it is similar to that. Again, measure means measure equals. When you click on new measure, it comes as measure equals. So measure equals is nothing but, again, you are going to name the measure. So first thing is I want to create a sales measure, which will be nothing but sum of, there is a column called sales amount. So I'm just going to use the sum function. So once you start using, once you start typing your sum, it automatically shows you the sum function. So just choose that, and then it will give you, it will guide you what parameters that you need to give it for the function to succeed. So what this function, this sum function requires is a column name. So what is the column name that I'm going to give to get the sum of sales amount?
Sales.
Sales amount, right?
Sales
There is a, yeah, there
sales
is
amount.
a sales amount column, and it's going to prompt you for that. So just choose that. And since the function needs a closed bracket, I'm just going to close it and make sure that there is an opening and a closing bracket, and then I hit enter. Now, so we have created the measure. Where has it gone?
Put it at the end.
Yeah, last to first. Sales amount, right?
No, not sales amount. Sales amount is the column. I have created a measure called sales, and
Oh yeah.
and the formula is that.
So
I
it
can't
won't
see
come
that.
up in the columns. It will be in the data tab. One of the tabs in the data tabs.
Yes, see here, you can see that there is a sales measure, but you cannot see it as a column. That is the main difference between column and measure. Okay, but when you use the sum, now let's get back to report view. So now let's concentrate on the report view. Let's get back to report view. Now, if I just click on the sales measure, which I have just created, just went and created, what visual is this?
Card.
Card visual. So it has created a card visual and is getting us the sales amount. Okay. You can see it in the visuals, but you cannot see it in the table as a value. So that is the main difference between a column and a measure. Any questions?
Yeah, I'm getting only bar chart. Is there?
Yeah, if you are getting bar chart, then what you do is just go into your visual and then choose card visual. So this is the card visual. So if you can't see the card visual, just expand that and then you can see the card visual here. See this one after the gauge.
After the gauge. Okay.
Okay, so now this is the, is everyone with me? So now because we are in the visual, in the report view. Any questions?
Okay. So is the DAX function always like an aggregate across the whole the data set, or is it like, is there a per row thing, or?
Okay, DAX is not just aggregate. There are a lot of DAX functions which you can use, like calculate, and you can calculate based on some filters, based on some exceptions. You can do a lot of things. DAX is another vast subject. So yeah, that's another this thing. So it's like using Excel functions, like you have a lot of time intelligence functions, same period last year, count rows, and previous period. All those things are time intelligence are there. So previous month, previous year, previous same period last year, like that, and YTD, all those can be calculated using the time intelligence functions. There are a lot of functions. Time intelligence functions are there, date functions are there, and a lot of string functions are there, etc. So it's something similar to all the Excel functions and much more. That's what DAX has. We won't cover too much of DAX today because I'm just going to cover the basics. And now I'll concentrate on the reports part of it. Now, that means mainly the visuals part of it. So once you click on the visual, you can, is everyone seeing a build a visual here with your new Power BI desktop? So on the side, or are you seeing something?
Just
here?
I see the filter and more options, export data and remove and spotlight and the filter.
Okay, so are you highlighting
sorry,
the
later.
visual? Highlighting the visual. If you highlight the visual, then you will see these ones. If you don't highlight, then you may not see it.
No, I am highlighting it.
Okay, so can you see a visualization pane like this?
Yes.
Sort of visual, yeah. Yeah.
So are you seeing like this?
I am.
Is
No.
anyone having difficulty
My version might be like I've just downloaded it and installed it, but it has it's slightly different. Like some of the decorations and things. I can still get to what you're looking
you
at,
can
but
still get
it's
to,
got
okay.
different,
Okay.
slightly different UI. But
okay,
not so
but you are able to understand, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, okay, that's what matters. Okay, yeah, Shibani, what's your question? Yes, I am recording. Yes, it's all recorded. Okay, so let's continue. Now this is the card visual, and here if you want to format this visual, you can go into format here, and for others there will be a format somewhere. There will be 3 buttons. There will be a format somewhere here. So click on the format, and you can change the size, position, and all those things. And also title, you can give a title. At the moment, you're just using the normal category label. If you just remove that and then click on title, and you can just give a text there, sales as text. You can get there, and you can have a heading as well. Heading 2 is the format of the title, and you can change the format. And you can change all these things like text wrap if it is going over. Also center it. I'm centering it. You can add a subtitle, you can add a divider, you can add a spacing, you can add a callout value. All these things you can do that. Okay, and also you can change the text color. Let's say I just want pink. Okay, so that's about text. And call out value is nothing but this value that you're seeing. So you can format that as well. So call out value, you can change the font, you can change the font size, you can bold it, you can change the color. Let's say purple. I'm just randomly doing it. And also, I don't like this 109.81 million. So what I'll do is display units. You can say none. Then it will give you that much. And then value decimal places, it says auto. I don't want any value decimal places. That also you can do. Or you can display in thousands. So you can say always it displays in thousands and things like that. You can change it. So that's how you can do the format of this visual. Call out value and category label we have seen. And there are other properties where you can add some tooltips and header icons. Header icons are these ones. If you switch it off, they won't appear. For some, you prefer not to. You prefer to switch it off. And there are some advanced features with the layout and things like that. So that's the old card visual. Now let's do something with the new card visual. So I'm just going to copy this part and then paste it and then move it. Control C, Control V. Everyone with me?
Yep.
If anyone is not, I'll give you a couple of minutes. Okay, so now I want to change this to new card visual. So for that, I will click on the copy, and then I will click on the new card visual. For getting the new card visual, what you need to do is you need to choose the card within brackets new, which is in the last row. First one in the last row in my screen. So I'm just going to click that. And then here what happens is you will see a border and a container. Okay. So with the new card visual, what you can do is you can add multiple measures. Here you added only one measure. I'm just going to add another measure. Let's say from the data, make sure you highlight this one. And from the data, I will, let's say, count. Just to see the sum of count. Sum of count is nothing but the number of rows that are there in the sales table. Okay. And let's keep it to that. You can add multiple, you can add 4 or 5 to it. And I'm just going to show you how you can format this new card visual. So if you go into the format, highlight this one and then go into format. If I'm fast, you please let me know. Now the title is sales here. Do we want sales? Maybe not. I don't want the title here. So I'm just going to switch the title off. Okay. Now you can change the shape. At the moment it is rectangle. You can change it to rounded rectangle or snipped tab, both top and so see inside measures have changed to rounded rectangles. Okay. And that's the shape. And it is 25 pixels rounded. If you want, you can change that as well. And
Is that
you can
something
change.
different version are you using, Indra? Because we can't see that. Our versions is different little bit. We can see the title and all, but I can't see that shadow underneath that.
Is everyone facing the same problem?
Yeah, I'm in that boat too. Yeah.
So I'm just following you. After that, somewhere it is hidden, but we need to find out where it is.
New card visual. Let me see if
Go
it
to
is still in
visuals,
preview.
visuals
The
tab.
Maybe.
first part was easy, but then it sort of went off. Yeah.
Okay, let me see whether it's still in preview. If it is in preview, you can actually.
Yeah, it is under the visual now. I can see that. Yeah.
You can see that?
Yeah.
See, it is in preview.
Mhm.
You should have the tick there, and then I think then only you can see. New card visual tick should be there. By default, it is actually there. So can everyone see that? Max, can you see that? See, it's maybe there is a scroll thing here.
So do we need to turn on preview features?
Okay, so if you go to file, options and settings, options.
Yeah.
And here you will have preview features.
Yeah. And then what should I have on there?
New card
new
visual.
card visual.
Tick.
Okay. Got that.
And then click on OK. And then once you click there, if you click on the build a visual, can you see this build a visual?
Yeah.
No.
You
not
can't see
me.
build a
Well, it's
visual?
slightly different
No,
on
I
mine,
can't
but
see.
yeah.
But can you see this pane?
Yes. Yes.
What about you, Max? Max or Mark? Sorry.
Yeah, Mark, it's visualization. Yeah, there's a visualization.
Yeah, it's visualization.
Yeah,
So it will be in the visualization as a new card, and it says card within brackets new, and there is a highlight here.
Yep.
Can you see that?
Yep.
Yes.
I
Okay.
have the card open. I have the card. I'm yeah.
Okay.
Yep. It's like, how do I add the
New visual.
Yeah, the other.
Okay.
Yeah, the second sum of count. Where do I add that?
Okay. So if you go highlight this, make sure you highlight this visual, the new one, and then go to the data tab, and then here search for count, and then drag it to the visual.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Or just click on the Just click. So now you got it, right? So now you can format the shape to rounded rectangle, and also you have the layout, center and horizontal. If you want vertical, if you want a vertical,
yeah,
if you want a vertical orientation, you can do that. Okay, you can do the vertical orientation as well. I have done the vertical orientation, and you can adjust the space between them. And if you look at the call out, now here what you can do is you can apply different settings for different measures. So you can apply, when you say all, that will apply to both of them. But as many measures you add, those will appear here. So if you want a different format for sales, for example, I want the sales color to be this color, but these are all in call out.
Yeah.
And the sum of count to be some other color. Let's say that one. Okay. So you can also do the sizes as well. So I just wanted to wanted you to understand the possibilities of it. So that's all I'll do for the call out. And you can have reference labels to apply to sales. You can add another data column. You can add a divider. So solid divider, let's say dotted divider, and color can be purple or something. And if you can't see something, just maybe increase the width, dotted, and for select series. For sales series, can't see anything. No padding. Let's do background. Let's say I'm going to add a blue background, and transparency also is 0. I see it. Is there an apply button somewhere? Divider. Okay, so this is divider. That is background. Value. Oh, this is reference labels. Okay, not reference labels, because reference labels we didn't add it. So here is what we need to do. Let's say, we want to do the formatting in the cards. So you need to click on the cards. And now, let's say for sales, I want fill, not white, but let's say gray. Okay. And a border of, I'm just trying to, yeah, just trying to be visible here. You can add a shadow, you can add a glow, all those things. I'm just going to not add something. And there is something called accent bars, which I have seen a lot of people using. So accent bars is nothing but it, you can add an accent bar on the left. See, you can see the width. So for the width, if you increase the width, you can see it will be more prominent. See that one? I increased it to 15. And you can do the same thing for, now all these I have done for sales. You can also do for sum of count, fill it with let's say some other color, blue. Just going random haywire, okay? And then I'll switch on the accent bar. This time I want to do it on the right, and then increase the width to, let's say again 15 cell. So I'm just want to show you the possibilities of the formatting of this new card visual, which we have waited for quite some time now. Okay, so that's about card visual. Just looking at the time. Now let's try and do some. I'm just going to delete this one because we have some information here. I'm just going to make it just move it to the side. Now let's go and create some visuals like a clustered column chart or something like that. So here for column chart, what we will do is maybe I will go again sales. So sales, it is automatically giving me card visual. So I just want to make sure that I choose a clustered column chart. So I'm choosing the clustered column chart from the visualization pane. So now it will give me a bar. Now I want this clustered column chart by product. So for that, I need to add, so sales is added to the y-axis. What should I add to the x-axis if I want to see what my sales are by product?
Product name or product code?
Yes. So let's go and add product code. Make sure your graph is highlighted, and from product, let's go product. Just the field name is product, I think. So now it's giving you a list of products. I don't like this one. Let's go with model rather than product. Oh, model also is not looking proper. Okay, let's go to category. Okay, this is a simple category, sales by category, product category. Okay, bikes. I think this company, Adventure Works, sells more bikes compared to all other accessories, components, and clothing. It's a bike sale company. Okay, so that's the sales by category. That's the clustered column chart, and you can actually format in a similar way. Yeah, I won't go into, if you want to add grid lines, you can add dotted grid lines or solid grid lines and things like that. And the color can be, let's say, purple, or let's choose purple or black. Yeah, black or dark blue, I think. Yeah, a bit color blind today. Okay, and then you can change the width. I think I'm happy with that, whatever I have. And then you can also add a zoom slider if it is relevant. Here, I don't see a zoom slider being relevant, but if it is relevant, you can also add a zoom slider, and also you can format the bars to a different color as well. And then you can add data labels. If I say data labels, you can position the data labels. At the moment, it is outside. horizontal orientation and outside, you can change those options. And then you can change the font and display units and all those things. And also if you want a background. Okay, and also you can change the plot area background as well. Now that's let's stick to that for the clustered chart. Now I'm just going to copy the same thing and then paste it and then drag it down. Now let's see what happens if I change this to a bar graph. So again, I'm going to go into my visualization pane. And then at the moment we have a clustered column chart. I'm just going to change that to a clustered bar chart. I'm just going to highlight this one and then change it to bar chart. So it has just reversed the situation. So category and sales. You can also have a legend. So for legend, maybe we can add color. Just going to add a color. So if we add color, okay, let me see whether, yeah, it added color, but I don't like the like how it is showing. So I'm just going to delete it. And we can add I want to show you a feature called small multiples. By doing that, what it does is, let me copy this sales by category and then into a new page, which I got it by clicking on the plus here. Then I'm pasting it here. What I want to know is for each year, what is the sales by category? So for that, what I'll do is I will click on the in the date table. There will be a there is a fiscal year. Okay, I'll just click on that and go into the visual and drag this fiscal year from legend to small multiples. So notice what it has done is it has changed the visual to 2018, 2019 and 2020 sales by category. Everywhere it is bikes, but there is a more year by year visual that you can see. Sometimes this kind of visual will be useful. Okay, so now we have seen the bar charts and the column charts. Now let's go to do some slicers. What is a slicer?
Filters? Filters?
Sorry?
Is it a filter kind of a thing?
It's sort of filter, but there is a quite a bit of difference between slicer and filter. Slicer is you can visually see by different let's say but you can slice and dice within the page. And filter is you filter, you don't want that in that graph sort of thing. Somewhat there is a match. There is a overlap between slicer and filter. And if I show you what a slicer means and what a filter is, then you will understand a bit more. So let's do that. Let's see that. So I have a sales by category here, and you have the sales and sum of count and everything here. Let's build a slicer.
Sorry, Indra, just before you go ahead, can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
So this the small tips that you had shown us earlier.
Small multiples, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Small multiples. In that, are we only able to select a category that is already available to us in the visual?
Yes. You have to have something here.
Okay.
If it is not there, then you create either a new column or a new measure, and then you add it.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. For any graph, that is the situation. You have to add that into the data, and then you get it. Okay, so now let's look at the slicers a bit. So I will just make sure I have some space for the slicers. Okay. Now I want a slicer, let's say by year. I want to know by year what are my sales, and I want to drill down like that. So what you can do is you can add a slicer for day, for year. So we have fiscal year, right? So fiscal year, I just clicked on that, and then it automatically took it like a table. But there is a visual called slicer. So I'm just going to change the table visual to a slicer, which is like a filter sort of. See here, this one is the slicer. So I'm just going to change that to a slicer. So once you change that, it will give you the distinct values of that particular slicer that you have selected. So the distinct values of the fiscal year are 2018, 19, 20, 21. So if I say 2018, so there are no sales by clothing, and there are no sales by accessories, right? And if you click on 2019, you can see the change. So 2019, I think clothing must have been added. And 2020, accessories also have been added. Right, 2021, there is no data. So just click. But if you want 2019 and 20, you can control click, and then you can choose that. And for slicer also, you can do some formatting. So you can have a title for the slicer instead of the slicer header, size and style, and slicer settings. You can do a vertical list or a drop down. When you say drop down, you can just choose from the drop down, you can choose. And also you can have a search here. If you click on the dot above, you can do a search, and that search will be added, and then you can search for it. Looks like it did this. Yeah, if you click on the drop down, then you can add, if there is a lot of, for example, if I add a slicer for customer, and add a slicer for customer, let's say city. Okay, sorry. And if I add a slicer for city, again change this visual to a slicer, because there are a lot of values in this slicer. That's when a search is useful. If you're searching for, let's say, for a particular city, let's say, I don't know which city, let's say something. Yeah, Seattle. I was searching for Seattle. So when you say Seattle, then you get the values for that particular city. So these are called slicers. And then you can format them. So for example, I'm just going to format this slicer as a tile. So you can just, because this is only 4 or 5 values, I can format that as a title, as a tile, not title, sorry, as a tile. And then you can click on each of the tiles, and then you can see the various. Now here, as you can see, 2 slicers are playing. So one, we are just seeing 2018 sales for only Seattle. 2020 sales for only Seattle, because Seattle is selected. If I unselect that, you can see the change. And $51.88 million sales happened for 2020. But what is the sales in Seattle? So it's 42,000 and 222 transactions. Okay, so that is the slices. Any questions on slices? And slices can be most of the time slices will be for facts or dimensions. I'm just checking whether everyone is paying attention. Anyone can answer? What is fiscal year? And what is city?
It's a slices, right?
Slicers.
Yeah, yeah, they are slices, but
Dimensions.
slices can be for facts or dimensions.
For dimensions?
For dimensions, yes,
Dimensions.
because they are qualities like by sales, sorry, sales by customer, sales by city, sales by year. So that is, so slices most of the time will be for dimensions. So dimensions will be there for slices. Now let's look at filters. Do you have any questions around slices?
No, pretty okay here.
All good.
All good. Okay. Now let's go to filters. So did anyone see some filters somewhere when you are working on the report?
It's on the right hand side beside the format.
Yes. Yeah. So here, just open that, and here you can see. At the moment, you can see only two filters, which is filters on the page and filters are on all pages. And when you select a visual, so for example, if I'm selecting this visual, then there is another filter and another category of filter, which is the filters on this visual. So there are three types of filters. One is filters on the visual, or filters on the page, and filters on all pages. So I'm just going to take an example. If you want the report to be filtered for all pages, let's say, for example, I don't want this report for, let's say, let's see. Let's 42K, right? So when I tick that, when I don't have any city selected, the sales is 51.88 million. And I don't want to include Seattle city in my report on all pages. I don't want to report on Seattle. Okay. For that, what you do is you add a filter on all pages. How do you add the filter? Because it is linked to the city. You don't want to include city as the visual, city named Seattle in the report in all pages. What I do is I just go and drag the city into filters on all pages and select. You can do a basic filter or advanced filter. So I'm just going to go to advanced filter, and I will just say contains, does not contain. If it contains, then this report will become Seattle. I want to say does not contain Seattle. Seattle. Okay. And then I'll apply the filter. So now this should minus 42K from 51.88 million. So that's what we are going to see. So I'm just going to apply the filter. And why didn't it apply?
Spelling mistake for Seattle. It's having one extra T.
Extra T and no L. Okay, now apply. See that 44K has reduced to now 51.84 million. Okay, so that is the advantage of. So now this filter will carry on for all the pages of this report. Okay, now let's say we want filters on just this page. Okay, filters on just this page. Can anyone give some example? Let's say we want this page to be, it should not be contradictory. So for example, if we want Seattle in this page, we can't do it. Okay, let's go to West Sussex. Yeah, let's go West Sussex on this page. We just want to show only West Sussex on this page. So you can do it like this, or you can say, or maybe we can just say region. Let's go country region. Okay. And I'm just dragging this to just this page, filters on this page. And let's say I just want Australia. Looks like there is no New Zealand. So let's call our big brother. So Australia. So now it has reflected Australia only for this particular page. And I'm just going to duplicate this page so that I will show you the difference. So I'm just going to remove that in the duplicate. Now here, this is for Australia and this is for everything except for Seattle. So do you understand the difference between filtered for on this page and filtered on all pages? Yes. Okay, now let's go to filter on the visual. So let's say I'm just going, you can even use the slicer for the filter, slicer, any visual for this visual, this filter. So let's say for this one, because there is no data for FY 2021, I don't want to show that in this slicer. Okay. So for that, what I do is I'm just going to add a filter on that visual and say select all, but don't include this. Okay. So now it is showing only 3 instead of 4. Okay, that's how the filters on this visual will be helpful. Okay, understood? Any questions? Okay, now let's try and add a line chart. Oh, when do you use a line chart? Anyone?
When we want to show the trends.
Trends. So what generally what will be the dimension?
Year, month.
Perfect. Yeah. So trends usually is time dimension, right? Date or time dimension. Okay, so now what I'll do is I just made a copy of the sales by category, but I'm going to change that the visual to a line chart. So this is my line chart. And does this make sense? Sales by category?
Yes.
As a line, does it show any trend? Trend in the sense, as the bikes are increasing or something like that. We can't show that trend, right? If we choose the category as the y-axis. So for that, what I want to do is I just want to choose, let's say, from the date, let's say date hierarchy. Okay. So now, once you choose date hierarchy, okay, you can see something, right? So you can see a trend. It has decreased till 2020. From 2019, there is a decrease in sales. because this has, okay, now why is it showing only 2020? Because our slicer value is 2020. Now if we change that, now it is showing from 2017, that the year is 2017, but fiscal year is something different. Okay, so from the year 2017 to 2020, there has been an increase in sales. The peak was 2019, and because of COVID, the sales have been reduced. I'm just making this up, okay? The sales have reduced. Okay, so that's the trend that you are showing. And here you must have noticed in the line chart, there is something called drill through, or drill through this particular, what do you call, this particular graph. So here you can see the down arrow and double down arrow. So you can go to the next level in the hierarchy, because we have included a hierarchy in the visual. So here is the hierarchy. What is the hierarchy? Year, quarter, month, and day. So if we go down in the hierarchy, so we have to turn on drill down. So turn on drill down, and then you can go down quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. Because after year, the quarters are there. And then if you further drill down, there is the months. See the months fluctuations. Just going to change this. Okay. See the months fluctuations. And also, if you further drill down, it goes into days, 1 to 30 or 31. Okay, so that's the drill down. And if you want to drill up, just click on the up arrow. Right? And there is a format as well for this one. Similar. I don't want to go into too much of detail there. You can add a zoom slider as well. So here you can zoom it in and then see that. Okay. Okay, so that's the line chart part of it. Now, I think I have covered most of the things in the agenda. Let me go back. I think there is one that I need to cover, which is slices and filters. I have covered. Edit interactions between your visuals. Okay. So now, let's say, for example, I have this sales by category. I'm just going to change the category to, let's say, instead of category, I will change it to.
Sorry, Indra, before you proceed and you change your visuals, just one question.
Yeah.
On that line chart that you have built, and you were drilling down, here we can see the line chart is portraying 4 years, like the 2017, 18, 19, 20. But when you drill down, it drills down, for example, to quarter 1, 2, 3, 4. Does that take into consideration a particular
everything.
year?
Yeah. No, not particular year.
Or
all
a congregation of all 4 years?
All years, yes. And
by
if
the
you
quarters.
want,
that
and
means,
if you want that, then you can use your slices.
That means that if I'm looking at, so when you drill down once more and it goes into quarters, that means the quarter 1 will show me an aggregate of all 4 years.
Yes, all
Okay,
2017, 18, 19, 20. Yes.
Got it. Okay,
very good question. Yeah, very good question, Nicole. Yeah. Okay, so now in my graph, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, in my column graph, I'm going to change that to city, I said, right? Let's go city. Okay, so this is not a good graph of city, but everything is not applicable. Okay, that's not good. It's not a good example, but okay, let's not go city then. Let's go country and see. Region, country, region. Okay, I'm going to go country region. Yeah, this is looking a bit better. I'm just going to reposition my graph so that we can see everything properly. Okay. Now, and I'm going to change to make you understand the edit interactions part. I'm going to change this slicer from city to country region. Okay. Now, what I want to show you is, let's change this to this one, and I'm going to remove the filter from filter. This filter I'm going to remove so that Seattle is also included here. Seattle region is also included here. Okay, now just notice I'm going to slice and dice for, okay, I think this has both city and country region. I'm just going to remove the city. Okay, so now you can see United States, Australia, France, not applicable, Germany, and things like that. Okay, let's not worry too much about the not applicable. Let's say I'm just going to take United States. Okay, so I'm just going to click on United States. Now, the rest of the things are okay, but here the sales by country region is now showing only United States. I don't want to do that. I want to, if I change this slicer, I still want it to show this one. I don't want, what I mean is, when I select something here, I don't want this graph, this chart to be interactive. I want the other charts to be interactive, but not this one. So what do? What the logical thing to do is, when I select this one, I need to disable this interaction, isn't it? So that's the, in plain English, that's what needs to happen. So how do we do that? In order for that to happen, select the country region, that slicer. That's the first step. Select the country region. And then in the format tab above, there is something called edit interactions. So you make sure that you highlight that. See, when I highlight it, you can see there are two extra icons that appear here. Okay. And these appear only in all the other charts except for the selected chart. So what this means is, you can disable any of these charts from interacting with this slicer. And this is available only for slicers. Okay. So now I want to disable this interaction. So automatically what I do is, there is a gray, there is a circle with a diagonal line, which means none. So I'm just going to click that only for this sales by country region, but I'll leave everything out. So if I do that, now if we select let's say select not applicable, everything else is changing, but this is not changing. Okay. Let's say, for example, if I go Canada, everything else is changing, but not this. Okay. So you have disabled the interaction. If we don't want to see these, just go back to that and then click on that. But this thing still works. Once you disable, you can click on the edit interaction so that those icons don't appear. Sometimes it might be annoying when you are trying to develop, do the development, create a report. Okay, so everybody understood what it means and how to do the edit interactions?
Yep, all good from my side.
Okay, now you can save the report and maybe come up with your own interactions. I will also go and save the report. into this one. Now is the time for questions. I think we have covered most of it. Clustered column charts, bar charts, trend graphs, card visuals, old and new, interactive reports, that's the slicers and the filters. Yeah, I think we have covered most of it. Now, open for questions. Somebody is asking a question. Yeah, Nicole, go for it.
You can ignore that one. That was from earlier on. So
Okay, no worries.
sorry.
Shibani?
Yeah, so can you just quickly tell me from the starting of your representation, you mentioned like if we have two sheets with the similar data or similar column headings, we are so with similar dimensions, sorry, that we are able to merge the data and use that data. Can you just show quickly how you merge the data again?
Okay, so I will just theoretically explain because I don't have any. Okay, so for example, you have to go into transform data because that will be possible only in the Power Query editor.
Okay.
Okay, so now when I click on transform, it has come to the Power Query editor.
Okay.
Now, for example, maybe we can do something, but it's not a best thing, but I'm going to show you something. Okay, let's say I have a product key. I'm just making this up, okay?
Okay.
I have a product key and I want the name of the product as a column here.
Okay.
So that means what I'm doing is I have a product table here, which has the name. This is the product name, okay? Product column is the product, in the product table is the product name.
Okay.
And I want to merge this product column into my sales.
Okay.
So in order to do that, you need something called merge queries. So for that, because there is a product key which is common in both the tables.
Yeah.
What I do is I'll just say merge queries.
Yeah.
And once you click on the drop down, you can merge queries into the same table or you can merge queries as new. Okay, so I'll just do a merge queries as new. So what will happen is it's going to create a new table. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm merging sales table into, and the key is the product key. And I just, so it's going to do some fuzzy logic based on the information that I have provided. And then it's going to create a, so, and and the selection matches because there is not, because all the product keys match. Because it's actually a, it's not a good example, but you get the what do you call, you get the understanding. So I'm just going to,
in this case, if let's say both the columns had the exact same product keys in both the
yes,
separate queries,
yeah,
however, if one particular product, let's say instead of 213, sorry, 210, it was let's say 209, for example, it would not match.
Then what
So the
it
merger
will
will
give
not
you,
go
yeah,
through.
yeah, no, no, what it will say is it will give you a warning saying that so many rows don't have a value.
Okay.
So those will not be applicable. So you can treat them. If there are errors, don't include them. If there are no errors, include them. You can do those kind of things.
Okay, and if
It'll
an
guide
error
you.
comes through that we said we picked up, as in like if this was data set that we had built ourselves, that means we had a typing error that we have posted in. Can we amend the error on this particular merge page, or do we need to go and amend the data on the data set?
No, you have to amend at the source.
Okay, got it. Cool. Perfect. No, you've answered my question. Thank you.
Yeah. That's okay. I'm not going to create then. Okay. That's the merge. So opposite will be the append. Append will be if you have two tables. Let's say if I want to merge these two tables because these two tables are the same, those tables should be having the same columns so that you can append the rows. So that's the append query.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank
Any
you.
other? That's okay. No worries. Any other questions?
Hi, Indra. I had one question.
Yeah.
In the date hierarchy table, I see that we have year, quarter, day, and stuff. And in the quarter, can we set the quarter based on the fiscal year pertaining to a country's financial calendar? For
Yes,
example,
yes.
I think in the US they set it as January to December, but I would want the first quarter to start from probably July.
Definitely. Yeah, you can. When you are creating the date table, here we have just imported, right? When you are creating the date table, you can create like how we have here. You have a fiscal year. You have a fiscal quarter too. You have a fiscal quarter, fiscal date, fiscal month also should be there somewhere. So based on that, you can create a hierarchy. And how you create a hierarchy is, if you go back to your modeling tab, and let's say you have this one, you can go into properties, and here there will be somewhere hierarchy. Maybe they must have changed it. Or what you can do is you can create, right click and new hierarchy somewhere. Okay, let's say from date. Yeah, click on a column and then you can create hierarchy. And once you do hit that one, see this one date, instead of date hierarchy, you can say fiscal date hierarchy. And then you can add the hierarchy here. See this one, you can select a column to add a level. So here you can add fiscal year and then you can add fiscal quarter. Like that you can add and then apply level changes. And then that will be your fiscal date hierarchy.
So would that be based on the date range that I would want? Like it would be from July to June?
Depends on your columns. You need to initially create the columns in the date table. And for that, there is if you want to create a date table, you have a particular, you can create using M code or DAX code as well. And there are a lot of things available on the internet, which you can use for that. Yeah. And then you can mention which, because usually you can mention the start, the month number. So if your fiscal year is starting from usually July, right? So you can mention 7. Yeah, like that. So 7 to 6 you will go. So that your fiscal year reflects from July.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
just to add in the question that she's just asked.
Yeah.
So this is basically in order for us to visualize this particular data for the fiscal date hierarchy, we'll put this into the small multiples, correct?
Yes, yes.
And then it will further drill down as per our selection of how we wanted this new hierarchy to be set up.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Perfect.
Yeah, you can use that even in here, even in the trend. Instead of I chose the date hierarchy, right? You can choose the fiscal date hierarchy so that this and this matches, or change this to instead of fiscal year, the normal year, something like that. Yeah, depending on your circumstance, you can use it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. Any other questions? Okay, Chaitanya.
If possible, can you please repeat about a drill down?
Drill down. Okay, yeah. So drill down most of will happen in line charts, and for drill down to happen, you need to have some kind of a hierarchy for it to drill down, because it needs to know what to drill down to. So that's why I added date hierarchy in the x-axis. So then now, because we don't have any selection here, I'll just deselect this also. Now if we click on the the chart here, make sure your drill mode is on. When it is highlighted, it is on. If it is not highlighted, it is not on. Make sure it is on, and then you can either use this so that it expands to all levels, and then you can go up and up, or you can drill down slowly. Quarter 1, quarter level. So it drills down based on the definition here. So initially it shows year, and then the first drill down is showing quarter, and then the second drill down is showing month, and then the third drill down is showing the date. So
Okay.
0 because in a month max is 31, right? So 1 to 31 it is showing. Okay.
Yeah. To create this visual, we should have a hierarchy like related.
You don't need to have a hierarchy. Yeah, you don't need to have a hierarchy. But if you have a hierarchy, you can drill down.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Any other questions? Mark, do you have a question?
No.
Okay.
On. Oh shoot! Sorry, I'm so sorry. I didn't realise my mic was hot there. No, I'm fine. Thank you. It's been a really good session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, Subachi, do you want to take over?
Yes. Thanks, Andrea. That was really insightful, and I hope everybody who's here found that very interesting. And it answered a lot of questions on Power BI. So just to give you a heads up, we are going to be the next event you'll see from us will be under a new name. We're going to be rebranding it to Data Talks to diversify the topics that you'll see us presenting. So stay tuned to hear that. We've got some interesting meetups coming up all throughout the year. So yeah, just follow us on our journey, and yeah, just keep ahead of all the meetups that we'll be putting out. Thank you, everyone, and thanks, Andrea.
Thank you. No worries. Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Andrea.
thanks, Noel.